Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the first of many simple beauty tutorials for makeup, mainly because I just have like a lot of friends that want to know like how to do eyeliner or just how to do eyeshadow, or they want to do more types of makeup but they don't know how, so they don't know what to do. But most makeup tutorials just kind of do glam looks without actually covering the basics. So I'm here to cover the basics and just do a really quick video on how to do eyeshadow, well, also how to pick out the right colors and how to put them on, and then also how to do a really basic winged eyeliner. So when it comes to picking out eyeshadow, there's a ton of eyeshadow palettes out there and it can get really overwhelming to pick one out. But all I have to say is stick to the basics, in that don't get something with really crazy colors if you're not super sure of yourself on how to do eyeshadow yet. Just stick to neutral colors. Neutral colors are very forgiving. It's really easy to do lots of versatile looks with them, and they go with anything. So pick a palette that has a lot of versatile neutral colors. This is the Morphe palette. I don't know what this is, but it's just a typical Morphe palette. It was only like 15 bucks, maybe. Like, it's really cheap, but it's really good quality, and it's a lot of really basic colors. Or you could do this one. It's a little bit more expensive, but I use this for all the wedding makeup that I do, and it's the Laura Pro. But this whole bottom half is shimmery colors, while the top half is all neutral colors. And most eyeshadow palettes come with a color story, meaning that it's all sectioned out in groups of 4 of what kind of colors you can use. So if you want to do a look, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or with this one, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4. And in order to do a basic eye look, I would say you only need 3 shades. So you need a transition shade, which is going to be any sort of medium color shade that's not too bold, in order to just transition from the really heavy eye look back into the eyebrows and the rest of the face. Then you need a deep color, which is something that'll go in the crease, and that is what's going to open up your eyes and make them look bigger or deeper or all those really cool things. And then lastly, you just need some sort of a light shade, shimmer shade, or glitter shade. I use shimmer just because it's a little bit more professional looking than glitter, but if I'm going to do something fun, I'll use glitter. My transition shade, I'm going to use the color I always use, as you can tell. It is called Clay, and it is well loved, but this is going to be my transition shade. So you're going to go in and then tap off the excess and start right about here, where you leave about that much room between your eyebrow and your eyelid, and you're just going to go back and forth. Not so much like up and down, but more like a straight line from here to here, in order to just really get it nice and blended, and it'll look really nice and balanced as you put more colors on. Then I'm going to take a little bit of it and go from this corner down to this part of my eye, because most of the time whenever you do eye looks, you kind of want to create a vague triangle of from here to here, because those colors being pulled right here will open up the eye and make it look a lot more broad. So just toggle back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then use a really light hand in order to get everything really diffused looking. Okay, now that we have our transition shade going, we are going to go in with our dark shade. Today I'm going to be using the color Classic Dark Brown, and this is going to go in my crease. So I'm going to dip a little bit of it in, try to keep it all on the tip of the brush, tap it off. My tip to figure out where to put the dark shade: you're going to take your fingers and go about 3/4 to the outside of your eye, so right about here, and draw a like straight diagonal line to your temples. This right here is where I'm going to put my dark shade, because that is where the eyes need to be opened the most. So I'm going to stick it right there and start going in circles really lightly, keeping it centralized here, but whatever I have left on the brush, I go right into the deepest crevices of my eyelid. I'm going to keep going, put it right there in the deep part, toggle back and forth, and just do little circles. The goal of the dark shade is to keep it very centralized into just this area right here. You don't want to bring it out too far out here or up here. You want to keep it in the deep parts of the crevices, and then the deep part right here of your eye. Then you're going to take the dark shade on the other side, put it 3/4 of the way out right here, and just start blending it out. The goal of makeup is just to blend well. If you can blend well, you're set. And then what I do is just kind of maybe gently go like this right over my brow bone just to make sure I don't have any super dark colors right there. And then I take my clay color, my transition shade, and lightly go back over it. So that is the main color that is being seen on my brow bone. But you want to keep the color slightly away from your eyebrows in order to accentuate the eye look more and define it as different from the eyebrows. Alright, next I'm going to take a shimmer shade. Today I'm going to be using the color I obviously always use, which is called Medallion. And shimmer shades typically do better when they're applied with the finger. Don't know why, it's just the way it is. So you're going to go in and do the inner half of the eye and stop right where your iris would stop if your eyes are open. So my iris is right here, which means I should stop the sparkly color right about here and leave room for the matte color right here. I'm going to do the same with the other eye. Just put it on the inner half and then do the eyelid. And bam, my eyes look bigger. So those were 3 really basic steps, starting with taking your transition color and putting it all on the top half of your eyelid, then taking your dark color and measuring where you're going to put it by taking your fingers and going to the 3/4 way out of your eyelid and put the dark parts right there. Then you're going to take your sparkly color or light color or whatever you want to choose and put it on the inner half of your eye, stopping around right where your iris is. And with that done, we are going to move into winged liner. Yay! I use the NYX Epic Ink Liner, and I actually really like it. It's waterproof, so whenever I do brides for weddings and they cry, like their eyeliner never moves, and it's beautiful. But the tricky thing about eyeliner is trying to figure out where it's going to end, like where your wing is going to end and if it's going to look uneven or not. That's typically one of the main concerns about people that do eyeliner is they don't know where to put it or it looks really bad. So I'm here to make it a little simpler for you. So what I would say is, 1, don't draw outwards and try to find where you're going to end the wing liner. Start the wing and put it exactly where you want it and then bring it inwards and fill in the rest. So what we're going to start with is looking at yourself dead on in the mirror. You're going to look at yourself in the mirror, find where your little crevices of your eyes end, and right on the outskirts of that is where the tip of your wing is going to be. Now, you don't want your wing to go straight up, and you do not want your wing to go straight out. So what you're going to do is aim to have it slightly pointed towards these outer parts of your eyebrows. So first, what you're going to do is take your eyeliner, and then you're going to pray really hard that you get it right where it needs to be and that God gives you a steady hand, because Lord knows I got shaky hands. You wouldn't think it, but I have shaky hands. So what I'm going to do is look right where this little crevice ends when my eyes are fully open, as if I was talking to someone. And I'm going to make sure the tip of the wing starts right about there, okay? Because then it'll pull it outwards. And now that I have that right here, I don't do this every time. This is just to explain it. I'm going to go really lightly. I'm not even rubbing it. I'm literally just resting it on my eye, like tapping it. You see that? I'm just kind of like a stamp. So I'm stamping it and making it really thin. And see, there's that. And we're not stopping there because eyeliner like this, not the best idea. And so now that I have this going for me, I realize that right about here is where I want it to be in order to bring my eye shape more open. Everybody's eye shape is going to be a little bit different. So some people need it to be right up here, but I need mine to be right about here. So what I'm going to take, I already kind of like did it, but I'm just going to take my eyeliner tip and I say, I want it to end here. And then I just go straight inwards. Oh, my dad's home. He's coming in the garage. The garage is right underneath me, so I can see him out my window. So now that we have that going for us, you're going to barely gently make this a straight line. Like so. And see how this kind of dips underneath? You're just going to go in and again, lightly just make it one more smooth line. Stamp it, stamp, stamp, stamp. Whoops. Stamp. And if you mess up, that's okay. Turn it into a new eye look. And now that I see I don't want a stubby eyeliner, I want it to be a little sharp wing, I'm going to take this, and I'm not going to even pull or go straight on. I'm going to keep it flat and flush with my face. And I'm just going to make a really, 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 really tight line. So then you're like, oh, that looks weird, Rihanna. You're right, it does. I'm filling it out just to bring it in. It's like fill in the blank, or what is that? It's like coloring in the dots by number. There's a lot of art metaphors I could make for this. But you're just gonna take your little thing where you have your wing and then just pull it inwards. So the best idea also is to try not to go whoop, because it is so hard to make it like curved. It's much easier just to do a straight triangle. Whoops. I can fix that. If you want to make the little wing really sharp, you're going to go in, again, a little bit flush, and you're not going to press really hard, and you're just going to do a really thin little whoop, and it'll make the tip of the wing look very accentuated. My foot is so asleep right now, I can't even feel it. Whoops. Okay, here I am. And remember, the best thing about doing eyeliner is that you can turn it into whatever you want. So I meant to make it a little bit shorter than this, and it ended up being a little bit longer, but that's okay because it still fills out my eyes. Learn from your mistakes, friends, and make it into something new. Happy accidents, as Bob Ross would call it. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and do the other eye. Oh my gosh, my foot is waking up and it hurts. Okay, now I'm going to see where this one is. And then also, just know you don't have to make it completely even. Not everybody really notices. So I see that this one goes, take my fingernails, about that thick. Make them even. So then I say, okay, I'll aim for right about there. Nope. Straight line. See how that's straight and this is weird? We'll correct that. Straight line. Then you're going to do the other part of your triangle. Yeah. Bam. Another straight line. But again, you're like, that looks weird, Rihanna. I promise you, it'll get better. And then you take the tip and make it flush with whatever this is right here. See, I just did it. Then, you see how that's all wobbly jobbly? You're gonna lightly fill that in. And then you see this one's shorter than this one. This one has to go out more. So you say, okay, let's go out. Almost every eyeliner turns out not the way I wanted it to look. But you roll with it, because that's just how makeup is, man. So, if you can see, obviously, they're not completely even, but that is okay, because whenever I go in with mascara, the darkness of my mascara will cover up the unevenness. All the eyeliner really does is almost act as like a second eyelash, but a really thick eyelash that pulls it out into the direction of your choosing. So if you do eyeliner and it's messy, but it goes up here, when you put on mascara, your eyes are going to look like this. But if you pull it out a little bit more to like a diagonal, it'll look nice and full and open. So now we're just going to go in with mascara, which is basic, and I don't need to go over how to do it. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll show you guys the finished look. Okay guys, I have finished my mascara. I actually used a NYX Worth the Hype mascara. It was the first time I ever used it, and I actually don't mind it. It looks pretty good. And as you can tell, you don't really see the difference between the shape of the eyeliners now that the mascara is on. So just another reason as to why mascara is so important when doing an eye look. So if you ever don't feel confident about doing your eyeliner, but you do it anyways, just put on mascara and it'll fix everything else, and no one will really notice the shape difference all that much. Well guys, that is all for this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned something about how to do eyeshadow or eyeliner. And if you did like this video, give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more basic beauty videos, go ahead and subscribe over here. But it is finals week for me, which means I'm going to have to take this cute makeup look and sit in this chair and probably never get out until 11 p.m. because I have to finish a lot of study guides for all of my classes. So pray for your girl that I make it through all of that. But next time I post a video, I will be a senior in college. So it's worth it. It's only 4 more days. I can make it. I can make it. All right.